Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Global Hack Week. I'm super excited to have everyone here. I hope you've been having a good day during Global Hack Week so far, and have been enjoying the streams you've been seeing throughout the week. Data Week is always one of my favorites, so I've had a lot of fun both being on stream with y'all as well as getting to see some of the other coaches' streams. So if you have any favorites you'd like to share in the chat, let me know how your Global Hack Week is going. I'd love to hear about it. But as far as what we'll be doing today during our time together during this stream, this is the final part of building a CRUD application using Python and SQL. Specifically, we're using the Flask framework and SQLite 3 to kind of integrate into a web app. During parts 1 and 2, we went through and built our data sources together. We built them out, we built out our schemas and connected everything together. So kind of like today in our last session, we'll be putting all the pieces together, working on the update function as well as some CSS styling. So let's get started. Also, if you haven't had the chance to yet, make sure that you register your attendance with MLH so you're able to get your points for Global Hack Week. We do give out swag for different levels of points, depending on how many streams you attend. All the information about that is on the Global Hack Week website. But without further ado, I'll jump back into it. All right. And also, for any of you that are curious, this is all on GitHub. I'll be sharing out the bit.ly link towards the end of stream today with everything committed from the 3 different parts. So as kind of a recap from the last session, we finished the tutorial we're working on, which showed us a little bit more information about utilizing SQL3 to import our data. We created those schemas for both the meal plan and schedule plan aspects of the app. And then we were able to successfully connect the schedule plan data to our Flask app. We were almost able to connect the meal plan data to our Flask app, but there was a few errors pending. In the meantime, we took a break in between session 2, and right now I was able to fix the errors because I realized I was calling the wrong database. And after that, I ran into a few kind of like logistical errors with the app. So I ended up just deleting all of the database files and then rerunning all of the Python files that generate them, kind of allowing SQLite to like regenerate everything. And fingers crossed that everything is still working the way it was when I was debugging earlier. So let's test that out now. All right. Here we go. It is awesome. So this is not all of our data, but a good amount of our data. We have our schedule plan up here. It's a little clunky right now. And then we have our grocery list at the bottom. I'm gonna walk through what the error I was making was earlier. So let's see. It was within our meal plan Python file. Essentially, right here on line 16, instead of using mealplan.database, I was using grocerylist.database because I brought in the code from our grocery list database file. The syntax was very similar. I didn't want to rewrite everything, but you always want to make sure that you go through and read all the lines when you're reusing stuff that has a similar structure. Because of things like this, I was stuck on this for probably like 10, 15 minutes when it was a very simple mistake. I was able to just change the name to the right database file and then delete and rerun everything. And it was working good as new. So that's good. All right. Looks like we have a hacker who missed the first 2 sessions. So the GitHub will come in handy. Glad to hear that. Also, if you'd like to watch through session 1 and 2, you're more than welcome to join along and watch the recordings on YouTube or Twitch. We have those recordings uploaded after the streams as well. So hopefully that will help you get caught up to speed if you'd like to do that. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do, now that I've walked you through, we got our error fixed here. No more error 500. Everything's showing up. I want to actually bring in everything into our app. So right now in our index file, in the templates folder. Also, in between session 2 and session 3, for those of you that were with me earlier today, you might notice on the left-hand side, there are a few changes. Basically, I went through and added a bunch of folders to organize things better because there was a bunch of files and it was getting a little bit confusing for us to navigate. We just have DB with subfolders for the rest of the data, and then the documentation folder, which is pretty self-explanatory with parts 1 through 3, just to make things a little bit easier to navigate. So let's get into it. All right, so let's just basically uncomment this. So we have 4 item and recipe names. We just want to print out the item. So we're making sure that we're actually getting all of the recipe names, all that information, and just ending that for loop. And then we can kind of see if that's working properly. So like usual, I'm just going to kill the terminal, and then we're going to rerun this file. All right, open it up. And then okay, this is all being printed. Okay, so we have these being printed, but not here. Let me refresh this maybe. Or is it? No, okay. Let's see what's going on. So we are returning the templates with all items, shopping items, and schedule items. We do not have those. So we're going to need our recipe names right here. I commented them out whenever I was trying to, fix the errors we were getting, but now we need those back again. So I'm going to kill this, run it again. I feel like web development and data querying is a lot of just kind of tinkering with things and testing it over and over. Okay, so here we have our data. They're all showing up in tuples, just like we wanted. You might be wondering why I did a new line in between all of the ingredients from earlier, and that's so that it's easy to kind of separate those into individual grocery items when the time comes to connect that with our grocery list. So, all right, let's get back into here and look at our to-dos for today. So now that we've done all this, we fixed the errors, we have everything coming up. The next thing I want to do is actually work on the update function and the routing and the update route for groceries. It's the most simple data type in this web app. So I want to make sure that we get through the update function and the update route before this series is over. I don't think we're going to get to everything we had initially planned, just because it was a lot for just a 3-parter. But this I want to make sure we get through, as it is a key part of the CRUD application. It's the U part of CRUD. So that's what we'll be working on. And I'm also going to comment out everything but the groceries right now, so that we have like a little bit more of a clearer web page we can look at. All right, and then rerun the app web page. All right, perfect. Oh, also, I'm going to make my screen a little bit bigger. I know some people had requested that last time. I think this is, let's see. That should be good. If anyone needs my screen to be a little bit bigger, hopefully that is helpful. Cool. Okay, so let's go over to our app.py file. So similarly to add items and remove items, it's going to just be like kind of a simple route with our function inside of that. So we're just going to have app.route, and the route is just going to be update. That's close enough. It's going to be update items. Oh, here I made okay. Here we go. This is what I had initially done. I'm going to turn off the autocomplete because that always irritates me a little bit. Because sometimes it's right, but it's not always, and it can sometimes mess with your code. Okay. No inline suggestions. Perfect. Okay. Extensions. I don't know why it's, I need to reload. Okay. I'm going to reload the window just so Copilot is there in case I need to ask about any bugs we get later. All right. Back to our app.py file. Cool. All right. So inside of update item, we're going to just need to walk through updating our application. So give me 1 second to reference my notes. Here we go. All right. So similarly to the delete and add parts of this application, we're going to need to make a section right here. We're going to need to have an update form. So I'm just going to have div ID is equal to update items, very similar to the others too. And then inside of form action, we're just going to have update items, and the method is also going to be post. All right, and then inside of that, we're going to have the actual meat of our form. So we're going to have our, like, just selecting the old items that are on the list. So we're just going to do select name is going to be equal to our actual shopping items. Yes. Yes. Okay. Now this might, let me, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I see. Let me try this. Okay. So for item in all, let's do just shopping items. We're gonna have X, Y, Z, and then not that. We're going to end our for loop, and then inside of that, what we're going to want to do is just have our option value. So similarly to this, all right. But we do want to have this. We need to have select as well, but it's going to be old item. Okay, our select is closed. We also want to have our label, and that's going to be equal to old item. It's going to be old grocery list item. And we also want to give this an ID. Old item. All right, that's looking good so far. We have our, we're able to select from our existing shopping items. And then after we select that, what I'm going to want to do is that once we've selected that, I want to have another aspect of the form where we put in what we want the item to be called now because we're updating it. So we will have label is going to be equal to new item, new grocery list item. It's going to be input ID, new item, and name is going to be equal to new item. I think that's all. And we're going to make sure that this is required as well because we don't want them like clicking the update form and not adding anything to change into it. And then like the other forms, we're going to need a select area as well. So, or not a select input submission button basically. So right here, we'll have input type equal to submit like the last few times. We'll make the value equal to update item. All right, that's looking good for our form. I think everything looks like it should. So now I'm just going to basically rerun the app to make sure our form is running. Like we can like see it up on the page. And then after that, we can go through and add in the logic at the update item route. All right. Port 5000 is already in use by another program. Okay. I'm gonna shut this down then. Port. Perfect. All right. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, it keeps printing this, but we have our index.html. This should be showing up. Cool. I'm going to kill this and then run the app again. Cool. All right, here we have our new and old grocery item list. I'm going to add a break after the selection of our different items, just because I think it looks a little bit clunky, but we're not too focused on our style very clearly, as it doesn't look too hot right now. Okay. But it's good to know that it's working. We just need to add in the logic so we're able to basically update everything. Perfect. One more break right here. Break. Let's do 3. And then I guess we just maybe need, so we can do 3. Cool. Kill the app. Run it once more. Perfect. All right. So we have everything right here. These are the 3 right here. Like up at the top, our current grocery list. We refresh. It randomly generates a bunch of new ones. We have our new grocery items right here as well. So, all right, let's get cracking with our update item function. So inside of that, what we're going to need to do is pretty similar to what we've done for add and delete items. So we basically just need to get the information from the form and connect to that database to remove or update those items. So we're just going to have, let's see, need to get our new item and our old item. And inside of that, what we're going to need to do is go to our request form, and then we're going to go to new item, and the same for our old item. And then I'm just going to print these to make sure that we are getting the information we need. old item. Cool. And then I need to also figure out where the random printing of meal. Oh, here it is. I'm going to delete that because it's no longer needed. We're no longer debugging. All right, we're going to kill it, run again, open it up, delete these old versions. And then I'm going to take the old grocery item, and it's going to be, let's say vinegar. I don't really need vinegar. And I want to replace that with teriyaki sauce. I click update item. We're getting a not found because it's not actually updating anything. But let's see if it's printing. Requested URL was not found server. Make sure that we have our, oh, it's update item. I'm going to change that to S just so we don't mess with the semantics. We get that figured out. It's always the small things. Okay, open up the port again. We'll do, let's say, eggplants this time, and we'll replace eggplants with carrot sticks. All right, update item. It's not found because there's nothing there, but let's see. Is it printing properly? Also no. Cool. So update items. It's not found. Okay. I'm just going to return this. Interesting. Okay, we're just going to keep coding it through. I think we're getting everything properly. If we don't, then we'll fix it then. And we also do need to copy down, let's see, index up here. We do have a few more variables. I think after shopping items is when we stopped. So we need to bring over schedule and recipe names. Honestly, let's just copy this line and replace it on all these functions. Cool. And then right here, I think that's indented appropriately. That is, and then we don't need to return. Okay, perfect. Let's just cut this and then move on to basically just trying to print it out to the website. Okay. So after that, what we want to do is we basically want to change the new item to the old item in this. So what we're going to do is we're basically just going to change the shopping items. So for item in, say, session shopping items, we're going to find the index. So it's going to be equal to if item is equal to old item, we're going to find the index. And then similarly to when we deleted the item, what we're going to do is we're going to change the variable. But instead of popping, what we're going to do is go to session at shopping items, and then we're going to go to this specific index, and then we're going to set that equal to our new item. Cool. And it should basically replace it on the shopping list. But we also need to set session.modified equal to true. And I think we should be good. Cool. I'm going to delete this print statement and then rerun the app again. And hopefully this works. All right, so we have eggs, bread, milk, lentils, and noodles. Let's replace lentils with carrot sticks again. Update item, not found. All right, let's see. Is there? Let's see what's going on. Okay. I'm wondering if in the form we need to get value, maybe. Just try this. And then just get, okay. All right, cranberries with teriyaki sauce, not found. Let's see what's going on. So down to update items, post, old item. Let's see. Might have to do with this potentially. Let's look at the at item logic. Equal to quest form at select items. Maybe I need to be changing the syntax. Let's see if I just do this. Let's give it a try. If not, we're going to bring out Copilot to ask some questions about debugging. Open. Okay. T. Let's replace the pastries with carrot sticks. Not found. I also want to print. Let's print new item and old item. So I want to see if basically we're running into the issue. So it's not giving us any error message. All right, cilantro, granola, cranberries, pork, eggs. Replace pork with beef. Not found. Sick. Okay. Again, no feedback. Is update item. I don't think it would be that. So potentially there's a routing. I did update item instead of update items. And then I go down here, update items, update items, update item. That's it, update items. Has item as well. Items. Well, this is just the button value. This shouldn't make a difference. I think the routing over here did, though. Let's see if that makes a difference. All right, come on. That little pop-up going to show up. Kill, run. Here we go. Clementines, cinnamon, potatoes, carrot cake. Get rid of the cinnamon and replace it with beef. Sick. Okay, it's working. I just messed up the routing. So again, the tiny little mistakes do make a difference. Cool. Okay. So now that that's updating properly, we have a fully functional CRUD application, at least for our groceries. So the first thing before we add in CRUD, just like CRUD operations for our schedule plan and our meal plan, we're going to create some logic so that we're able to generate this list based off of our meal plan rather than our grocery list specifically. So let's go back to our to-do list. We're able to make our update function and route for groceries. So that's awesome. Let's get to part 2. So I can just copy this check mark emoji. Nice job. All right, we're gonna temporarily put this on hold, hopefully get to it by the end. Okay, but what we want to do is we want to connect logic to return the grocery list based off of the schedule and the plan. So what we need to do is look at the schemas for both our schedule and our meal plan, see how we are connecting them to basically generate a grocery list. So I'm going to go to database, grocery list, or not grocery list, meal plan, and I'm going to open up this MD file. And then I'm also going to open up the schedule plan MD file. All right. So here we have basically just whether or not we're eating at home and what day it is. So the first thing I think we need to do as a part of this like logic connection is we need to find how many meals we need to cook / are eating at home. For this particular use case, since this is just the MVP for Global Hack Week, we're going to assume that we are only cooking for one person. In more advanced iterations of the app, we could bring in that information from the user. But we're not going to worry about that for today. Just make it easy. We're going to assume this is a single person cooking for themselves. So after we go to the schedule plan and we're able to see basically whether or not they're eating at home for that meal, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to figure out how many of those are breakfast versus lunch, dinner. We could separate them out to have specific breakfast meals and specific lunch, dinner meals. I think that is also another future iteration project. But basically, once we have this sum of how many meals we're going to need to be cooking and eating at home, we need to figure out basically how many of these different recipes we need to be cooking, which means that we need to add a data variable in our meal plan schema that shows us how many servings a recipe makes. And then based off of that, what we're basically going to do is see how many different meals we'll need to be cooking. So figure out how many recipes we need to be cooking. And then once we have selected our recipes, combine all the cooking ingredients into a list and basically just push that list to our grocery list. Perfect. Okay, so it kind of sounds like a lot, but I think that we broke it up into more granular pieces. So let's just kind of get cracking at it. All right, so first thing we need to do is we need to find out how many meals we need to cook, where we need to cook and are eating at home. and we're going to assume that we're only cooking for one person. I think I'm going to put this as second, and we're going to adjust the schema first. So what we need to do is adjust our meal plan schema. So we're going to meal plan.py, and we basically just need to adjust this class, our recipe class, and we're going to just put servings. And then self.servings is going to be equal to servings. Normally I would go through into all of these and determine like how many servings that the website has for each of them, but I think that I reached my like allotment for free New York Times cooking or like New York Times like recipe views. So I'm unable to view the entire recipe. So I'm just going to make up some numbers. Before I do that, by adding it into my recipe my recipe classes, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to adjust the recipe schema. So here we have name, text, instructions, text, grocery items, text, and then lastly, we're going to have servings, and that's just going to be an integer. And then right here, we're going to need to add one more variable, and we're going to add in our servings. And then right here, we'll just have i.servings. All right, I think that is everything for the SQLite part of this. So I'm just going to go through and kind of like arbitrarily decide. So let's say for salmon teriyaki, let's say that one makes 4 servings. And for our quinoa salad, that makes 5 servings. For our bagels, that makes 13, or a baker's dozen servings. Assuming each bagel is 1 serving, you're not having them or anything, because I know that New York style bagels are a bit thick, quite filling. And then I think this should have been 13, should be down here for the bagels. And then let's say for the chicken burgers, let's say that made 7 servings. That's typically how many chicken patties I get out of a pack of ground chicken. All right, that seems to be good. I'm going to rerun mealplan.py. Hopefully nothing gets messed up with the database, but we can persevere through bugs if need be. I'll need to kill a connection first to our local host. Run this again. All right, it looks like everything was successfully added. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do to make sure that we are getting all the right information is I'm going to go into our index file and I'm going to uncomment out the recipe names just to make sure that we're getting everything right here. Okay, so we're going to comment this out individually and then bring this back to life. All right, and then run our app.py. Fingers crossed this works. Open up the browser. Awesome. It looks like we don't have the data coming in properly. All right, let's see what's going on. I'm going to first order of business. I'm going to go to meal plan. I'm just going to straight up delete the database file in hopes that it regenerates and that fixes our problem, but we'll get into more advanced debugging if that doesn't work. Okay, meal plan. Oh, I always forget to. Here we go. Run. Awesome. And then app.py. It's running again. Open it up in the browser. Internal service error. No such table recipes. All right. Let's see what we have to do now. All right. We have our meal plan database. I see. Okay. So basically what it's doing is so right here where I wrote connect to mealplan.database, it connects to the root of the directory and not this specific folder. I need to specify to this specific folder, or I believe if I just move this newly generated meal.db file in here, it will override it and potentially fix the problem. Let's see. Okay, open it up. Here we go. That was working. So basically the database was just, the database file was not showing up in the right directory. Perfect. Okay. So, looks like we have a question. Sandra asks, I'm late. Can you share the code/link? This will all be on GitHub after the fact. I don't know the bit.ly link offhand, but don't worry, you'll be able to follow along, get caught up at the bit.ly link. I think it's, yeah, here we go. I'll share this in the chat and put it on screen in case anyone else joins a little bit later and like to get caught up. So we have everything committed from session 1 and 2 in there, and then session 3 will be committed after I'm done coding in the session. All right, so back to our to-do list. Part 3, we added a data variable in our meal plan schema that shows us how many servings a recipe makes. Perfect. Next thing we need to do is find out how many meals we need to cook or eating at home. All right, so how do we want to go about that? So I think it would be easiest, to be honest, in our, let's see, app.py, when we're actually reading in that information in the get databases function. So here we have our meal plan database file. We're reading in all of that information. We're assigning it to our recipe names. I think if we just kind of query recipe names and find maybe just servings, or would that be, I feel like here might be a good idea. All right, so servings would be equal to recipe names at index, which index is this? It's because it's in tuple. Index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3. All right. And then we want to return our servings. Let's see. And then up here at the main directory, we'll have session servings. And then in here, we're going to have servings equal to session servings. And also, if you were not there for our part 1 of the stream, basically that is just like making it into a global variable. So we're able to access it throughout the entire application and not just the first one. So, okay. So I'm going to put just for item in servings, we're going to put it right here in a paragraph element. Item, perfect. And for, this might be a little bit redundant with how we have our data being stored, but let's just see if it works. Okay. Perfect, it's running. We just have, oh, this is just from the first one. What is, I think we can access it, to be honest, from the variables themselves. So I think if we just do, let's see, item at index 0 feeds item at index 4. Let's see what that does. Kill it, and then I'm going to rerun app.py right here. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Oh, it should be not 4. It should be 3. Yes, 3 because it's indexing. That was my bad. All right. Okay, the local host is open. Perfect. So we have everything together and we're able to access that pretty quickly. Cool. All right. So I'm going to go right here to our index. So we have 4 item and schedule items. I don't know if let's just go here. So we have I think we'll maybe need to have a route for calculating our grocery list. So let's just do app, actually at the bottom. App at route up here. And our app route is just going to be generate groceries, and this will kind of evolve as we begin to calculate everything. This is just going to hold us calculating the total number of meals per week for the time being. So we're going to store that in our function generate groceries. And then inside of that, let's see. I'm just going to have number meals home, and then that's just going to be equal to 0, and then for I in basically, okay, where is that? Schedule items. We're going to loop through everything. And then if I at index, it should be index 3, is equal to no, it is our schedule plan. Here we go, at home. Then if, okay, then we're going to increment the number of meals at home up by 1. And then I just want to return number of meals at home. This will also make into a global variable just for ease. I said session again. All right. Num meals home. This will just become this. And then we're returning. Let me. This should be. Oh, no. Okay. We'll make it global later. Okay. Sorry for that. Just thinking out loud in real time, as y'all can see. So number of meals at home, increment that up by 1, and then we want to return it. And then within our main route, I also want to call this. So we're going to have session num meals home is going to be equal to generate groceries. This needs a comma, I think. Yeah, that's why it's yelling at me. Okay. Up here, we're going to have our, here we go, calling this, and then I want to put it in here too. That's going to be equal to num meals home. This could definitely be done more efficiently, but I am not going to clean up the code until we get everything functional. Okay, and then an index, I just basically want to be returning number of home cooked. Oh, this doesn't need to be the brackets. This will actually mess it up as the brackets. Number of home cooked meals this week is going to be set equal to num meals home. Perfect. Okay, we're going to kill the application and run it again. Internal servicer, or internal servicer. Number meals home is not defined on line 55, which means I forgot to, yeah, okay. That's on me. It's always the small things, and I tend to change variable numbers or variable names as I think through everything. Okay. Run once more. All right, open it up. Here we have 12. Sick. We can go through and count actually based off of our schedule plan. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. All right. So it seems to be accurate. Or both the computer and I miscounted, but I highly doubt that. So awesome. It looks like we're summing up the number of home cooked meals. So we have completed object number 2. All right. So I am going to give y'all 2 minutes to get a quick water or stretch for a little bit. I am feeling myself starting to lose my voice because I don't have any water. So we'll be back in about 2 minutes. I'll see y'all in a few. Let me put up banner and take this chance to download the code if you haven't had a chance to already. See y'all in 2 minutes. Grab some water or stretch. Right, and we are back. Okay, let's take this down and we can get back into the next object of our to-do list. I grabbed some water. I hope you all were able to take a quick little break. So let's keep tracking along to return our grocery list based off of our schedule meal plan. So next thing we need to do is figure out how many recipes we need to be cooking. There is, I guess, like a few ways we could do to like optimize it. So we have like the lowest food waste or only return like the number of meals that like the number of meals that like would perfectly match up with like how many servings are in the recipes we'll be cooking. We're not going to do that in the MVP. We're just going to basically take two like however many random meals, and if, say for example, we have where's our recipes? Here's our meal plan. So we don't have the actual, here's the Python file. Okay, so say, for example, this week we are cooking 12 meals, and it's randomly just going to take the first 3 items. We'll have it so it's randomized, similar to like the grocery list we had earlier, so it's not just returning the first 3. So we would basically check in after we added a new meal to our schedule. So after the first one, we'll have 4 servings. That's not enough. We need 12 servings for the week. We'll add on the second recipe. So we'll have 9 servings in total. That's still not enough because we need 12 servings. And then we're going to add up 7 servings. But we will show how many leftover meals we'll have. So those are things you can kind of roll over into the next week. And you'll also have a little bit more of a greater variety throughout the week. I know some weeks I'm like down to like kind of eat like the same thing over and over again if you like made like a big batch meal. But other times like a little bit more variety. And you're like with it being just, let's see, we have an excess of what would we have total? We have like 16 meals total in excess of 4 meals. That's definitely like not something that's going to go bad within like a few days after the week is over. So I think like that's like a fine margin of error. That is something we could kind of refine in the future. So let's get into this. Let's go down to our generate groceries. So we have the number of meals we are eating at home. So after that, what we basically want to do is we want to put together our week recipe book. That's just going to be equal to an empty array. And then I am going to find, let's see, up here, where was it? So in grocery list .py, right here we have the groceries just kind of sorted. I want to randomize them. So I think we maybe did have that in the app.py file. So generate groceries. Where is our, here we go, I think. These are, not to update items, just in databases. Shuffle, yes, random.shuffle. So I want to shuffle my recipes as well. So in meal plans, after we have all of this, what we're going to do is we're going to go down to, after fetch all, we're just going to basically shuffle this and then it will be shuffled every single time, kind of randomly, so we're not first 3. And also a way to kind of like let's go back up to our generate groceries. We have our empty list with the week recipe book. And what we need to do is basically just loop through the existing recipes we have. So while, let's see, and then I'm also going to make a variable called week servings. And this is going to be equal to the number of servings that we have in our week recipe book. So it's going to start off at 0 and we'll increment as we add things in. So while week servings is less than the number of meals we have at home, this loop is going to continue. So what we need to do is we need to access our, I think it's called meal plan. So let's see the variable we chose up here. We're going to have our recipe names. Okay. I definitely need to go through and clean up this code after I have time towards the end of the stream. Okay, so while week servings is greater than num meals home, we're going to loop through for maybe not a nested loop. That would be not the best complexity. Okay, I'm talking aloud, so I think maybe this would be a guy. For I in session, let's see, recipe names. If, just do an if statement. So the runtime isn't too bad. If week servings is greater than the number of meals at, or if week servings is greater than the number of meals at home, we are just going to, that's not how I want to do this. Okay. If week servings is less than the number of meals at home, what we're going to do is going to append I, and we're also going to go to week servings, and we're going to increment by I at index, and then if week servings is equal to or greater than the number of meals at home, we are just going to break. And so need to, in addition to returning the number of meals we're eating at home, or I guess we could just replace this right here with our week recipe book. Servings. We're going to be returning all of those. And then up here, I'll delete. And then go up to our root right here. And then we're going to need to declare a few more variables. We're going to make them global, of course, just for ease. We don't be running into any scoping issues when debugging. So everything just becomes global. All right, generate groceries. And then in here, we're going to have our week servings and week recipe books so we can view it out on our screen. Grocery book. Perfect. And then go to index. We're going to have the number of home cooked meals that week, number of servings of home, number of servings cooked this week, and it's going to be equal to week servings. It needs to be in double curly brackets because it's the actual value. And then we will have the recipes cooked at home this week. And then I'm also going to put all of these into little paragraph elements just to make this easier. Break, not the body. This is a little autofill can be helpful sometimes, but other times it's not as helpful. All right. We have P, and we need to bring in our variable to make sure everything is running correctly. Next thing we're going to have is week recipe book. I think the variable is called. So yes, grocery book, week servings. Perfect. Gonna kill the local host and then run it one more time. All right. Cool. Okay. So we have the number of home cooked meals this week, as well as the number of servings cooked this week, but we do not have the recipes cooked at home this week. So, oh, I think that's because we are, let's see. We have okay, week servings, week recipe book, week recipe book. Let's go down here to generate groceries. We're returning week recipe book. We are looping through recipe names, which is equal to, what do we have here? Everything in recipes. Maybe we just need to have pending I at index. I don't know why that it wouldn't be showing, but I at index 0. Let's see how that changes it. Again, not changing it. Interesting. Week recipe book. We're appending it. We have our recipe names. I'm curious what the issue is. But it is counting them up. So like they're clearly being added to this. All right. Let's delete all of these and get back to debugging. All right. So we're appending this in session recipe names, and recipe names is this entire thing. We're returning week recipe book. It's being assigned here after we generate groceries. It's in here. Let me make sure I'm just spelling everything right in the index. Week recipe book. Oh, I assigned it to week grocery book. That would make a difference. We're going to delete this and then rerun it. Open in. Perfect. Okay, so we're getting everything. We don't want everything. We just want at index 0. Or what we need to do. Maybe, okay, we're gonna, yeah, okay. So it's a little bit more readable. So we have our week recipe book. We're just going to append I at 0 to make it a little bit more easy to read. All right. Just smashed avocado burgers. Well, it's not going to be, I don't think it's 12 servings of smashed avocado burgers. No, that's 7. Okay, let's see. Back to, is it because, yes, I did 0 and 0. That would do it. Cool. Okay. It's always the little things. Run app.py. And then we have this. Okay, smashed avocado burgers, salmon teriyaki, and New York style bagels. We are getting 24. So let's do some quick math to make sure that it is properly counting. So first we have smashed avocado burgers, which is I can find okay, 7. And then the second one we had was teriyaki chickens. That would put us at 11. And then we have 13. Okay, that's why it's 24. That would be one of the instances where it is not the best. I think we could either adjust this by like just like including recipes with like more kind of like evenly spaced across serving sizes, or like more of a optimization for serving sizes, because having it like double what you'll need for the week isn't necessarily optimal, especially if most of them is going to be like leftover bagels. But it is working. I'm going to regenerate the page. Here we have 18 because we just have quinoa salad and New York bagels. I think I'm honestly going to put this down to 6, just saving like half the recipe or something. So we're getting something that's a little bit more even and close to the serving sizes of the other recipes. Perfect. We're making great progress this session. If you have any questions about what I've done so far, feel free to drop them in the chat. This is not updating. Oh, I need to rerun the database. That's why. Okay, so meal plan. This is gonna, yeah, okay. We'll rerun meal plan. I need to kill this. Perfect. And then, like I said earlier, we're just going to replace this meal plan up here, overwrite it before we run app.py again. I will go back and fix where all of the databases are generating their database files, but for right now, that's just what we're doing. Okay, open. Perfect. Okay. So 16 servings, we have smashed avocado burger, salmon teriyaki, and quinoa salad. Refresh, New York style bagels, quinoa salad, smashed avocado chicken burgers. Perfect. Okay, so we are finding the number of home cooked meals we need this week. We're counting up the number of servings that we are going to be cooked with our particular serving sizes. We also added in that variable into our schema. So we're making great progress. Let's go to part 3. Let's see. Figure out how many recipes we need to be cooking. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is combine all of our cooking ingredients into a list. So let's go back down to app.py into our generate groceries routing. So we have our weekly recipe book, our weekly servings. Cool. So now we basically just need to figure out what the groceries are. So I'm going to make a grocery list. We're just going to set this equal to we're going to set this equal to just an empty list. Since we are appending, okay, I'm going to change this, I think, to be, I forgot if I tried that or not. Just so we're able to do a little bit more logic with our grocery list in a second. Refresh this. Let's see if it works. Open browser. It's returning the first item, so no, that does not work. Okay. We'll just go back and integrate a little bit more logic right here. Okay, so if weekly servings is less than the number of meals at home, we are adding to the weekly recipe book the name, as well as iterating the weekly servings with how many servings that recipe makes. The next thing we need to do is add the groceries to the grocery list. So what I want to do is I want to take recipe, I'll just do maybe a placeholder object. Placeholder is going to be equal to I at index, where are the groceries. That's going to be index 2. So index 2, and then we're going to split at the new line character. And then after that, for I in placeholder, I want to append those items to the grocery list. So let's see how this works. Not the best time complexity, but I think it should do the trick. Grocery list. Okay. So next we have our, I'm just gonna make this div d is equal to weekly groceries. Close this div. And then I'm just gonna have our grocery list in here. Grocery list. This needs to be right here. Session grocery list. And then in here, this needs to be fixed. It's absurdly long. Grocery list is equal to session at grocery list. Okay. Kill the app. Run it one more time. And let's see if it worked. Cool. Okay, so we are getting all of the items. The one thing I'm going to do is just adjust so it no longer says 1 teriyaki sauce, 1 salmon. I think that the numbers is a good idea for a more advanced version of this app. But I think for the meantime, for like an MVP, just having a list of the groceries would be helpful. Most of the time when at least I'm making my grocery list, I'm not putting like, I don't know, like 2 cups of rice or something. I just put like rice if I need it. And we'll have like leftover rice for like the next recipe. I think we can do something similar. Of course, if you need like bell peppers, like 4 bell peppers, that's nice to know. But if they're reading through the recipe, they should be able to figure that out. And I think that for the MVP, just like the individual items will be what we need. So again, back to meal plan. We're going to go here. So we just have ingredient, ingredient, ingredient. Okay. Ingredient. All right, that looks good. I'm going to rerun this, which y'all know. Oh, I kill, then rerun, which y'all know means that I need to move this meal plan up to override the existing one. Perfect. And then we rerun app.py. Okay, open it up in the browser. Perfect. Okay. So let's look at this right here. Part 3. We have combined all the cooking ingredients into a list. So the last piece to kind of connect the logic to return the grocery list based off of our schedule and our meal plan is to push that list into our grocery list. So awesome. We're almost there. So cool. Okay. So basically we need to connect this variable to this. So it's no longer selecting it off of our grocery list. So right here, we're going to go to what do we have? Okay, so that variable is just called a shopping list. Let's say where are we? Oh, I think honestly right here. So for item and shopping items, I'm going to replace that with grocery list. And I think that's honestly all I need to do. I could be wrong though. Let's see. All right. Perfect. Internal service error. Yeah, I knew that was too good to be true. Okay, expected bracket. Oh, maybe I just deleted something. Oh, yeah, I just deleted the parentheses. Hopefully that fixes it. Let's see. Open browser. Awesome. It's working. All right. So the other functionalities are not working, but that's something we'll need to integrate kind of as we go along. But so far, I think this is pretty good. We are getting everything, all of our groceries from this like randomly generated thing based off of our schedule up here. So I think we're making really good progress. And eventually what we'll want to be able to do is delete these individual items off of the generated list. So like, for example, I already have like dry yeast, I have bread flour and kosher salt, baking soda, everything, bagel seasoning, and ground chicken at home. I don't need to go out and buy those again. The whole purpose of this app is to like reduce food waste. So we're going to be able to delete those, but we just need to figure out how we basically fix that, which will include, I am betting, a lot of cleaning up code because it's a little bit messy here right now. But let's go back to our documentation. Perfect. So we are able to push that to our grocery list. So awesome. We were able to connect the logic to return a grocery list based off of schedule and the meal plan. Awesome job, guys. Okay. Okay, first of all, this is kind of messy. How do we fix this? First of all, I probably need to figure out how to go about the removing items. So ideally, we'd be able to just put the grocery list into our existing grocery list database. So let me see if I have, pretty sure I took notes on that somewhere when I was prepping for this. All right. Yeah, okay. So, okay, so if I want to drop the entire contents of a table, but don't, or I guess, let's see. What if I just made the grocery table and didn't add in all of these sample ones that I showed you when I was just kind of showing you how SQLite worked. And then also I'm going to fix where I'm connecting. So rather than the main directory, we're going to go to databases /grocery list /grocery list DB to hopefully fix this. All right. Again, I got to kill localhost. Always forget about that. Run. All right. I think that worked. So I'm going to refresh or run app.py, see for sure if it worked. Open in browser. I'm not going to know because I didn't. Okay. Instead of grocery list, we want shopping items because we want to see if it deleted. Cool. Shopping items. Kill it. Rerun. Open in browser. Yeah, so here we see that we have nothing in our shopping list. We cannot add items and we cannot, like there's no check marks just because there isn't anything there, which is good because we want basically all of these to be in our database. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to change the logic so that we're seeing all of these in just the shopping list database. We're going to get to the part of this where we are inserting things into the database as a part of the application. So delete all of these old buggy versions right here. And let's go into inserting. So rather than returning grocery list, I'm like, what if we just inserted it? So I'm going to, I guess, let's see. I want to, so we have grocery list. I'm just gonna have this be database. And then we're gonna need cursor up here. So basically what I'm gonna do up here is insert all of the items in grocery list into our database. I might mess with some code to make it a little bit simpler, but we'll see. So cursor.execute. And what I want to do is insert okay. Let's see what the syntax is again. Insert into groceries. Groceries. And we want, let's see. For I, oh, okay, I see. This is going to be quite nice if it works how I'm hoping for. So rather than for I and placeholder, we might just be able to directly add it into our database, which would be so much more efficient than the way we are doing it right now. So for I in placeholder, we're going to insert into groceries. What's my syntax again? Name, values, and question mark again. And then we're going to have let's see how this is formatted. Comma I believe. All right. This looks like it might work. Let's cool. DB is not accessed. Yes, because it needs to be db.cursor. This needs to be in quotation marks. I think that's all. Cool. And then delete this because it's redundant. And then, okay. Cool. We're inserting it. And then after that, I think what we'll want to do is just basically having grocery list be equal to cursor.fetch all. And then after that, we're going to close our database, which I think is the right variable. Grocery list. Yeah, okay, that should be right. Fetching everything, grocery list as a list. We can delete. I think this will work. So we have our grocery list. Perfect. We're returning grocery list, which we need to do. We'll have grocery list up here, but we need to change that to shopping items rather than grocery list. We'll do shopping items and shopping items. And then down here, we're going to get rid of shopping items or shopping list, I guess. Then up here, what do we have? Shopping items equal to shopping items. Where is delete shopping items up here? I think I just had two different names. I need to stop doing that. It gets a little confusing. And then for generate groceries, what do we have here? We are returning shopping list. So we're gonna have what grocery list. This will just become shopping items. And then delete grocery list right here. And change the name down here to make everything a little bit more cohesive, make a little more sense. Here we go. Perfect. Good thing I decided to change it because then it would actually work. All right, I think that should be it. Maybe it was a bit too much to chew off in one go. Yeah, internal server error. Near I, syntax error. Line 69. All right, for I and placeholder. What's the syntax error? Name values. Oh, I see. Okay, so basically what I did is I put the quotation mark around the variable we're inserting, not just around the query, I think. We'll have to see if this works first. All right, open another internal service. Incorrect number of bindings supplied. There are 14 bindings supplied. Okay. Groceries. Oh, I see. But it should be executing each time, right? I'm curious what the... Oh, I need to commit, I think. Let's see. This is our connection. Oh, yeah, it's not, because we're not just reading, we need to edit things, which is what we're doing here. So I also need a connection. Let's see. We're gonna put that up here. Oh, we do have a connection. This just needs to be that instead. And then we'll just have db commit and db close. I don't know if that's going to fix it. I might need to move it within the for loop. Yes. And then if not, we're going to start asking Copilot what's going on. Internal service error. Okay. Do you have any idea why I'm getting this error? Okay, it's thinking I'm gonna drink some water. All right. So the error message is indicating that the execute method of the cursor object is expecting a single value for its parameter substitution, but it's receiving more than one. This is happening in the line you're trying to insert into the groceries table. So yes, right here, where I'm trying to insert in the groceries table, this method expects a tuple for its parameters. If you're inserting a single value, you still need to provide it as a single item tuple. Okay. So this will ensure that each item and placeholder is treated as a separate. Oh, that's interesting. But I guess it makes sense if it's because it's matching up to SQL syntax rather than Python syntax. Okay. The more you know. Hopefully that's actually right. We'll see. No. Okay. What's going on? Cannot operate on a closed database. Do I need to commit down here? That's probably right. Oh, why do we have closed twice? Okay. Which is it? We'll see. Run it again. So much trial and error, this stuff. Okay. Internal service error. Cannot operate on a closed database. Why is it closed? It's outside of, it's like that. For I in session. Oh, I see. Maybe I can just put it like this. So it's outside of the nested for loop. But I wouldn't think that would make a difference because this is what's this. Okay. Anyways, we'll see what happens. All right. Interesting. Okay. So it looks like the items are being pushed to the grocery list because they're all in add item, but I'm not seeing them here. But I think that's progress. Interesting. I wonder what's going on with the checklist, but this is definitely progress. I just want to verify this is the right number of additions. Okay. Maybe I'll have it just also print the shopping items. Just to see what's going on. All right. Sick. Okay. So it's not working how I thought. Okay. Looks like someone said from earlier, it's talking about parameterized SQL statement bindings. I think that's when I was facing the error with the for I and placeholder. Good eye. Let's see what this new error is about. Okay, so we're getting all the information in. Yes, all of the information in the add item. So let's go to the add item. Root. Okay. Add items. An index. We're getting, oh, it's in all items. What is all items again? Oh, okay. Just all items. Where is that declared? Oh, it's a return of get database. So it is updating into the database, but we need to go to, oh, okay. So all items is working, but it's not, so it's updating the database, but it's not pulling it into shopping items. I guess we're not reading it, we're just updating the database. Okay, I can work with that. So what if I comment this out? Does that affect anything? I wouldn't think it would. Shopping, oh yeah, so it will affect things, but I don't think in any serious way. So shopping items. Okay, this is for remove items. So I'm just gonna go to all items rather than shopping items to simplify things. All items. Okay, and then up here, we're gonna have, yeah, shopping items. Shopping items. All items. Okay, cool. So that means we can delete a whole variable too, which is going to greatly reduce all of the amount of nonsense we have to deal with in here. Cool. So we're just going to have all items, select items. Okay, cool. Shopping items. I'm just going to do a quick replace. So we're going to do all items. I'm going to go through quick peruse, make sure I'm not messing with any logic. Okay, that's not going to mess with anything major. That needs to be changed anyways, because if we're changing to the stuff in the database, yes, I think this should be good. We can just Control C if it messes with something major. Okay, delete, run once more. Oh no, okay. Oh, okay, so now we need to go find all items. That was maybe a mistake. Okay, so right here, delete the duplicate. Delete the duplicate here. This is good. Delete the duplicate. And cool. I think that should cover it. Could be wrong though. Run once more. Okay, again. Where is this? Delete. Run some more. Okay. This is line 13. Oh, I see. My bad. Missed that. I think that's maybe the last one. Sick. Okay. Internal service error. Yay. Okay. Expected for values got 3. Okay, so that means I need to go to some of my return statements in, yeah, okay. So survey, okay, we don't need to do all data, recipe name, schedule. Servings, we should get there. Session. Generate groceries. Oh, okay. So we're returning 3 items, and we have num meals home, week servings. Oh, all items. We need to delete it here because it's updating directly to the database. Perfect. Okay. Run once more. Oh, I need to. All right. I think we have everything. It does look like it's pushing it twice. Let's see what that's about. So what we have, let's just check and see if we're able to delete stuff in the meantime. Let's try just like deleting everything we can do. Shift, fun. All right. So let's try and delete the half because we have the list appearing twice or 3 times for some reason. Remove items. Yes. Okay. So delete is working. Let's see if add is working. Okay. Add is working. Let's just figure out why it's appearing 3 times. That's very odd. For item and all items. So we have our grocery list. Okay. Why is it appearing twice? Have our checkboxes. Okay. Should be looking through once. So why is it getting added 3 separate times? Okay. Oh. Interesting. Placeholder maybe needs to be reset. Okay. Because for I in recipe names, if the serving is less, we're going to take all of the ingredients and we're going to split it by new line. So we're going to have a list of all the ingredients for this particular item in placeholder. And then for all the ingredients for that particular recipe, we're going to add them into our groceries database. And then it should reassign right here. So that's curious. I wonder if I just do placeholders equal to an empty list. If that shouldn't do anything though. Because it should just be automatically, it's not appending it. Interesting. I think I'm going to look at the all. Let's look at the all items. Declaration. Okay. All items. That's with the database. Okay. So we have select name from groceries. We're fetching all. Delete this commented outline. We can delete the shopping list. Okay, so grocery list. Cool. Okay. Where is all? Oh, is it? That shouldn't be it. Okay. Okay, so we're hitting it 3 times. So those are the check boxes. So it's already adding it 3 times. So that's going to be an app.py. Okay, so we're fetching all and then adding this. I'm just going to have it print all data a few times to see what's going on in the database manipulation phase, because it was created for a different size. All right. Okay. Oh. Oh, I see. Because we're adding it to the database, basically what is happening is that every time the page gets refreshed, these become all items, and it's adding it to the database, basically, which is why the database is getting so long. So I think we need to add basically some safeguarding, I think, for like to prevent that from happening. I guess we have like 4 minutes though. I think like how I would approach this to fix it would be inside the database function and the generate groceries function, and we need to add in some kind of like error detection / error handling text. Basically, if insert into groceries name only if it doesn't exist. So basically, let's see, what is the syntax to add something to a SQL table only if the value isn't already in the table. Let's see if that would. Okay. We'll insert or ignore. Cool. Okay. Let's see. Insert or ignore. And then I'm going to just straight up delete the grocery list database. Delete, and then rerun this. We can get rid of this because we know a drop table does not exist. The table doesn't exist. We don't need that. Grocery list. I need to cut this. Perfect. Run app.py again. Don't think it's gonna be perfect, but I think it'll be better. Okay. There we go. Okay. So it's adding everything in once for the first time. Let's see if we refresh the page again. Perfect. So same issue we were running into earlier, but it's not going to add in. Well, I guess it will. We just had to find a way basically to delete items that are currently in, like from the old database, basically clear it out. How to delete all items from data from SQL table. Okay, delete from groceries. Cool. So basically what I'm gonna do is just have cursor dot execute, and then we'll do delete from groceries. And I think this will fix our problem. We will run it once more. Hopefully this works and doesn't break everything. All right, refresh the page. Cool. Again. Okay, it's working. So doesn't look the prettiest, but it's functional as a CRUD application. We are generating our grocery items for the week. We can delete them. So say I have ground chicken and cilantro at home. Remove those items and say I want to get double avocado. I really like avocado. I'll add that item. And then I also want to get some extra lemon pepper dressing for my mom. I'll add that on and it's all there. And also if I want to update an item, so for example, the second lemon pepper, I didn't mean to have that. I meant to have it be teriyaki sauce. I can update that and it will update. So we have our functional CRUD application. It does kind of the MVP of what we're looking for. Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job throughout the course of the stream. Great job, y'all. Following on, thank you for joining me. If you have any questions about what we went over in any of the parts, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll be staying on for a few more minutes. I know we're at time for this stream, but thank y'all for following along, and I hope you learned something. I'll be committing all this code to GitHub, so you're able to basically see everything that we worked on throughout this. So let's see, stream 3. And then I'm going to commit and push. So you'll be able to see all the code that we worked on throughout this streaming. Yeah. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you would like to see the code again that we worked on throughout all 3 parts of the stream, you can go to bit.ly.ghwcrud, and that's just a short link to our progress throughout this. There's documentation in the documentation folder, and the databases are in the DB folder. So that's all I have for y'all. Hope you had fun building a CRUD application with me, and have a great time at the rest of your Global Hack Week. Oh, and make sure, if you haven't already, to fill out your registration for this particular stream. I'm just going to drop that in the chat right here. But I had a blast with y'all, even though we weren't able to completely finish everything with our CRUD app. I feel like I learned a lot. I hope y'all learned just as much as me, and I'll see you around. Happy hacking, everyone.